Welcome back to this episode of Tommy Maroon Sports Show right here on WCTV, episode number 62. And it should be fun, my friends. That's right, it should be some fun. Of course, we're going to talk some NASCAR first. Let's jump right into it. To the Federated Auto Parts 400. For stages, of course, it showed Truex winning, even though I believe it was Keselowski that was the winner. Logano had a third place finish, and Austin Dillon is continuing his streak, finishing in fourth place. He's been doing a really good job. Of course, last week he had that second place finish, and this week getting a fourth place finish at the short track of Richmond. NASCAR standings looking like this. Of course, Harvick and Keselowski on their way to the round of 12. And Denny Hamlin is currently sitting in third place. William Byron is 3 points back of 12th place. And 12th place, by the way, is Clint Boyer. Kurt Busch in 11th. Ryan Blaney is in 16th place, which is the worst out of all playoff drivers right now. And next week's race is going to be at another short track. It's Bristol, and that'll be the last race of the round of 16. After that, we'll go to the round of 12. NASCAR has definitely been looking really good. Of course, it's been on for the last 4 months. Got a head start over all the other sports when it came to coming back. And what's been the result? Some high ratings and a lot of excitement year-round. It's been a great season. So anyway, it's time to look at the Cleveland Indians. Team leaders heading into yesterday include Franmil Reyes with a .292 average. But that's not Franmil Reyes on your screen. That's Shane Bieber. He leads us with wins, 7 wins. He leads us with strikeouts with 102. And he leads us at ERA with 153. That's impressive, my friends. But you know what's also impressive? Jose Ramirez. Jose Ramirez has 11 home runs and 20 RBIs. But anyways, Shane Bieber is tied with Zach Davies and Yu Darvish for wins in the MLB. Leads the MLB in ERA and strikeouts. He has been unbelievable, to say the least. Very unbelievable. Checking down my phone. Shane Bieber going to win Cy Young. Shane Bieber going to win, hopefully, MVP. He's just been unbelievable, to say the least. Now we'll get series recaps. Unfortunately, we have not been unbelievable. In fact, we've been the perhaps opposite. I'd say Indians against Royals looking a little like this. Of course, I'll recap the last 2 games because that's where we left off last week. And we lost those 2 games. In the first game, Danny Duffy won 5.2 innings with 4 hits, 4 walks, and 4 strikeouts. In the third game, and Edward Olivares had an RBI triple in the third game as well. And then the fourth game, he and Alberto Mondesi both had home runs. Aaron Savali definitely did not have the game he wished for. But the story right there for the fourth game was not Savali, but the other guy, Brady Singer. He went 7 innings without allowing a hit, and then the 8th inning, he finally gave up a hit, but it was just 1 hit through 8 innings. It was, to say the least, quite frustrating. Indians against the Twins, we got swept in that series. 3-0. Byron Buxton homered in the first game. Then the Twins had 5 homers in game 2, and then 4 the next day. And then after that, we had lost 6 in a row. Last night, it was 7 at Wrigley. That's right, we played the Cubs. We lost 6-5. It was a crazy game. Francisco Lindor lit it up. 3 for 4, 4 RBIs, including a game-tying home run in the 9th inning. It wasn't enough. In the 8th inning, by the way, Javier Baez was running on a 3-2 count with no one out. The batter struck out. Leon's throws second, got all the way back, and Baez went to third. And because he's Javier Baez, El Mago went home. And then the throw to Leon was well in time, but the ball just went right past him. And that's what happened. And then Nick Wickren is on with 2 on and 1 out, I believe. He hits Wilson Contreras. Then Cameron Maben on the next pitch. He also gets hit. So back-to-back hit-by-pitches ends up costing us, and we lose the game in one of the craziest games we have seen all season long. So, yes, that's what's been going on. Meanwhile, postseason standings, would you look at this? We are 26 and 22. 4 games back, or 4 games ahead. 4 games ahead of the Mariners for that second wild card. Of course, we are in an 8-team postseason. But yeah, don't know if you could tell, but Seattle, in words of one of my favorite YouTubers, Seattle is always known for punching their fans, which couldn't be any truer. Oh, man. Anyways, NBA postseason happened. The Raptors played the Celtics. The Raptors cannot repeat. The Celtics won the series 4-3. In Game 6, it was an epic one. Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet had more than 50 points each in a double overtime Game 6. Absolutely insane. Jason Tatum had 29 points in what was a game-clinching Game 7 for the Boston Celtics. And then there was the Lakers-Rockets series. And the Lakers won the series 4-1. LeBron had 36 in Game 3. AD, Anthony Davis, had 29 points and 12 rebounds in Game 4. And then in Game 5, LeBron had 29. And then Mike D'Antoni, the coach of the Rockets, he's out. He will not be coaching them next season. What a shame, too. The Rockets have so much talent, but every year they cannot make it to the NBA Finals. They have been close. They have been to the second round. They've been to the conference championship so many times, but they cannot get the job done. Meanwhile, last night, the Heat won in overtime against the Celtics. Jimmy Butler had the game-winning shot. Jimmy Butler has been on fire. The Heat have been, I believe, 9-1 so far to start off this postseason. 3 wins away from going to their first NBA Finals in 6 years. Back then, LeBron was in Miami, and we all didn't like LeBron. Of course, now he is in Los Angeles, and we are very grateful for him because he gave us a championship, and he's done a lot around here. But anyways, Clippers against the Nuggets. Anyways, the Clippers had a 3-1 lead, and they blew it. They straight up blew it. They just blew it. They blew it just like a kid who is celebrating his birthday. He's blowing out the candles. Oh, the Nuggets won the series 4-3. Kawhi Leonard, of course, was 1 assist short of a triple-double in Game 4. But then, in Game 5, I'm watching at my TV. I'm thinking, okay, the Clippers are going to the conference finals. No, they were up by 16, and they can't come back. And then, in this game, or that game that we were showing you, it was 19 points, and they couldn't come back. And then Game 7, those Denver Nuggets catch on fire. They were down by 12 at one point, but they were on fire in the entire second half. Jamal Murray, 40 points.
Loser.
Look at that, loser.
Hey,
loser.
I've heard this call before.
That's right, they are
I'll bet you have.
true losers.
Loser.
That
Hey,
puts up
I've
with
heard
the
this call before.
Los
bet you
Angeles Clippers really well. And the Nuggets become the first team since the 2003 Minnesota Wild to have multiple 3-1 comebacks in a postseason. Of course, Minnesota Wild, we talking hockey, my friends. But anyways, Doc Rivers has blown a 3-1 lead an improbable 3 times. 2003 with the Magic, 2015 with the Clippers, and this year, Doc Rivers. Great guy, great coach, can't get the job done. How frustrating does that get if you're Doc? Very frustrating. Now time to look at Tommy's picks, the recaps of the games. Okay, we'll put that on your screen right there. High school football scores. Benedictine lost to Holben 31-24. St. Edward's prevailed against Mentor 28-24. Euclid ends up beating Cleveland Heights 3-4-7. And Nordonia with a big upset against Wadsworth 63-49. You've got to be kidding me. Nordonia is not even ranked. They're still not ranked. And they take down a giant like Wadsworth. Wadsworth had a big fall in the rankings. Stowe ended up beating Highland 31-7, so my upset wasn't right, even though it was a very close game through and through. And then Hudson beat Barberton. Hudson beat Barberton 47-22. So then after that, Brecksville beat North Royalton by a score of 42-28. Aurora beat the Tar out of Talmadge 62-28. Copley beat the Tar out of Twinsburg 35-7 against those Tigers. And then Revere shut out the Black Tigers at Cuyahoga Falls 33-0. No Roosevelt Marlington game. There were some COVID tests, and Roosevelt's original game against Aurora, which was supposed to go this week, has also been canceled. Time for the NFL scores. Chiefs beat the Texans. What a shocker. Seahawks beat the Falcons. And then the Ravens beat the Browns. Dear God, what is going on in the Browns? First, Baker throws an interception. Then we decide to go for it. Way back there. Way deep in our own territory. What in our right mind makes us think, this is a smart idea, go for it? We want J.K. Dobbins from the Ohio State University run wild against us. 2 touchdowns. I had him benched on my fantasy team too. Lamar Jackson was on fire. Mark Andrews, who's also on my fantasy team, did well. And we were getting the ball way too much to Odell. What was the result? Almost nothing good. 2 receptions, I believe, for what would be 32 yards, I believe. He had 5.2 points for my fantasy team. 3 receptions, 22 yards. That is depressing. The whole game was depressing. Austin Seabond, that's right, Seibert, misses a PAT, misses a 41-yard field goal. Baker looks bad. Chubb looks bad. Kevin Stefanski already looking bad already. And it's already been one game. Dear God, what is going on with the Browns right now? I don't know. We have to turn it around because that was not a good game. I mean, the defense wasn't even there. I think a guy who drops passes in my backyard, can play better football than the Browns. I'm serious about this. I could actually play better football. I might as well drive up to First Energy Stadium, be on the field, and take over tomorrow night while we play the Bungles if that game gets way out of hand. But, oh my God, that was frustrating. You've probably, you've probably seen all this stuff on the screen with all my rambling and stuff. But anyways, I'll read it off anyways. Bills beat the Jets 27-17. Vegas beat the Panthers 34-20. Bears beat the Lions because DeAndre Swift forgot how to catch passes in the end zone. 27-23. Jaguars beat the Colts 27-20. The Packers beat the Vikes 43-34. Patriots 121-11. Cam Newton looking good out there. And the Eagles blow a 17-point lead to the Washington football team. Yeah, the Washington football team. You've got to be kidding me. The football team comes back. Oh, my God. Carson Wentz is probably crying, and Jalen Hurts is probably like, all righty, I'm going to start next week. And then the Chargers beat the Bungles 16-13 because Randy Bullock tears his hamstring, I believe, when trying to kick the game-time field goal from 31 yards. If I had a good Seinfeld impression, I would say, but I'm just going to say here, what's the deal with kickers being terrible in the NFL? Every time they try to line up, they keep on missing it. Oh, God, I'm terrible at that. But anyways, Saints beat the Buccaneers 34-23. Cardinals beat the Niners 24-20. DeAndre Hopkins looking really good out there. Rams beat the Cowboys 2017. Steelers beat the Giants 26-16. And the Titans beat the Broncos 16-14. Even though they shouldn't have won because they kept on missing everything. They kept on missing. Steven Gostkowski missed 3 field goals and 1 PAT. Once again, as Seinfeld would say, what's the deal with kickers missing field goals so frequently? Because they keep on doing it. Oh, ye gods. Week 1 fantasy picks, meanwhile, looking a little like this. Lamar Jackson, 33.5 points. By the way, points come from Yahoo Fantasy Football. Derrick Henry, 17.1 points. Zeke Elliott, 27.7. Tyreek, 15.6. Juju Smith-Schuster, 24.9. Zach Ertz, 10.8. Christian McCaffrey, 28.4. Justin Tucker had 9 points. And unlike most kickers, he didn't mess up. He did well. And San Francisco had 4 points. So much stuff on that screen. So much stuff in which I just lost my mind after. But anyways, how well did I do? Well, I won 6-4 this week in high school football, 7 points. Of course, 7 points because Hudson was my lock of the week. My upset, as I mentioned, Highland lost. And I was wrong about Stowe, Holborn, St. Edward, and Nordonia. It was similar last week. I finished 6-3, except I went 6-4. So this year I'm 16-10 with 20 points. Of course, high school football, very unpredictable, so much fun to watch. Anyways, how well did I do in the NFL? 11-5, 12 points. And my lock of the week, Seattle was correct. My upset of the week, Detroit was incorrect because DeAndre Swift drops the pass. It's almost as if he's like, whoops, incomplete, I'm sorry. But anyways, the fancy picks had a total of 171 points on the dot. Lamar Jackson and Christian McCaffrey led my team in points. 49ers defense did not do well with 4 points, but the rest of the team did save me. Now time to go for Tommy's picks and everything, high school football, NFL, week 2. So we'll look right there. It's going to be Talmadge against Copley. Copley has been on fire. You can't go wrong with them. So Twinsburg going up against Revere. Minutemen, I think, should win. Tigers have been struggling. Anyway, St. Edwards against St. Ignatius at First Energy Stadium. My upset of the week right here is going to be St. Ignatius since, of course, they've only played one game, which they beat Bishop Sycamore. And St. Edwards has played a few games, and they're fresh off a big win against Mentor. Washington against Benedictine. I'm going to go with the Tigers on that. Washington. Brunswick hosting Mentor in a GCC battle. Got to go with those cards. And then North Royalton against Stowe. I'm picking the Bulldogs out there. They should beat the Purple Bears. Magic's against the Bees. I got my lock of the week right there being Brecksville. North Royalton, or no, not North Royalton. Wadsworth against Hudson. Big game right here. I'm picking Wadsworth to win. Nordonia against Highland. 2 unranked teams, but 2 good teams. I'm picking those Hornets. I think we should win that. And then Westlake against Cuyahoga Falls. I'm going to pick the Demons on that. NFL, looking at that. Browns against Bungles tomorrow night. We just looked horrible out there, and the Bungles should have won, except Randy Bullock decided to miss. I'm going with Cincinnati, unfortunately. Titans against the Jaguars, going to pick those Titans. And then Tampa Bay against the Panthers. That's right, I said Tampa, not Tampa, because we all know Tom Brady is there. Got to go with those Buccaneers. Steelers against the Broncos. Pittsburgh should really win that. Eagles against the Rams. Hopefully, the Eagles should win. I'm picking the Eagles, but come to think about, I won't be shocked if the Rams lose. Or Rams win. I won't be shocked if the Rams win because the Eagles blew a 17-point lead to the Washington football team. Dear God, I hate that name. Anyways, Jets against the 49ers. Jets, Jets should upset the Niners. And then Free Willy going up against the Bills. I'm picking Buffalo. That should be an easy one. Vikings against the Colts. I think Minnesota should rebound with a win. Then the Packers against the loser Lions. Going to go with Green Bay once again. Cowboys against the Falcons. Going to pick Dallas. Bears against the Giants. That'll be Chicago. Chicago will go to 2-0. How about that? And then the Cardinals against the Washington football team. Both teams are 1-0 to start off the season. But I think that the Cardinals, who have a great quarterback receiver duo with Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, should win. No Fanland Chargers going up against the Chiefs at SoFi Stadium. Of course, nobody will be there. But yet again, since when do the Chargers ever have a good crowd? It will be the same thing. I'm picking Kansas City. Then the Texans against the Ravens, and I'm picking Baltimore. They really ran the tables against us. And I think they ought to do the same here. And then Seattle going up against New England. Cam Newton is a good fit out there with the Patriots, but I really don't think he'll be good enough for Russell Wilson and those Seahawks because, of course, Russell Wilson, great player. And then the choke Vegas Raiders. I would call them Chokeland, but, of course, they're in Las Vegas. First game at Allegiant Stadium, fresh off a big win against Carolina. I'm picking the Saints, however, because they got a big win against a big team. Week 2 fantasy team looking like this. Aaron Rodgers is my quarterback going up against the Lions. Alvin Kamara against Vegas. Dalvin Cook against the Colts. And my receivers will be Devontae Adams against the Lions. Second receiver should be DeAndre Hopkins against the football team. And then my tight end, Travis Kelce, against those Chargers. Christian McCaffrey is my flex player. Christian McCaffrey and the Panthers, who are they playing? Because I said versus Carolina. They're playing Tampa Bay, by the way. Excuse me for that. And then the kicker will be Harrison Butker against the Chargers. And Baltimore against Fabob, or Fire Bill O'Brien, as I say. Or the Houston Texans, because Bill O'Brien is horrible at his job. Well, that'll wrap things up right here on the Tommy Maroon Sports Show right here on WCTV. In all seriousness, please stay safe. I really can't stress that out enough because these are some really bad times, really crazy times, and a lot of people fighting out there, a lot of people hating. I don't want hate. I don't like hate. I love to love, and I know that most of you at home like to do the same thing. So I can't stress this out enough to please stay safe, socially distance, wear masks, and please show love and care to everyone you see out there, regardless of who they are, because our nation and world needs it a lot right now. So please do so for this next week and for so on and so forth, because I said so right here on the Tommy Maroon Sports Show, WCTV.